Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my performance review of the Nike Giannis Immortality 3. I wish they would just use the name Antetokounmpo because it would be so cool to just say Antetokounmpo, right? Did you imagine if it was his entire name? Did you get the Giannis the Giannis Antetokounmpo Immortality? That's just so long. I love it. It's so funny. But anyways, this shoe is of course the budget line for Giannis Antetokounmpo. His main line is the Freak line, right? The Zoom Freaks or the Freak, which right now it's the Freak 5. And this is his budget shoe, which retails for 90 bucks, the Giannis Immortality 3. So if you guys do want to cop a try, leave the link in the description box. The Giannis Immortality 1 was freaking amazing. The 2 was definitely a disappointment because the support was not great, right? But the 3, they definitely did upgrade it a little bit as far as the design goes, but let's get started right off with the tracciones, and the traction is freaking amazing, guys. I needed to break it in for a little bit, maybe like a day or two, but once I did, the traction was actually really good. I was surprised. It's pretty much top tier traction, you know what I mean? It has an amazing bite. It definitely has a squeak, but it's not super loud and it's not super high pitch, so that has nothing to do with performance, I know, but I like to have a nice squeak. I mean, like I said, once I started breaking it, it started to squeak a little bit more, but it's not super loud, right? But anyways, it has an amazing stop still, and if you're playing on a clean court, you're gonna be good to go. Also, if you're playing on a dusty court, you're gonna be good to go as well. It picks up very minimal dust, which also surprised me, right? Some shoes I was playing in, like the KD16, it wasn't biting as well, right, on a dusty court. But then I switched to these and it had a pretty good bite, which is weird. And also, when I was playing on a clean court, it would squeak more, but when I was playing on a dusty court, it doesn't squeak as much. I mean, obviously that makes sense, but it was still biting through the dust, which is weird. So yeah, it's very good dust performance. And then durability, I feel like durability, I don't know. I mean, the rubber is kind of hard, right? But the grooves are kind of thin. You know what I mean? So I feel like it wouldn't be the best for outdoor courts, but also I don't think it'll be terrible. So just take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like it'll be okay on an outdoor court. So the traction on the Giannis Immortality 3 is really nice. It reminds you a lot of the Giannis Immortality 1. It had really good traction for that as well. So Giannis Immortality 3, really good. Now moving on to the heel to toe transition, overall it's very smooth, right? So here in the heel we have a nice rounded shape and also pretty much fully exposed foam, so that feels very smooth here in the heel. And then in the forefoot we have a nice curved shape and a lot of forefoot flex, which is weird. Look, in the midfoot it doesn't really bend, so it seems like they added like a midfoot chain plate, right? Torsion support is very good. However, in like the Sabrina 1, look at that. Also the GT Hustle too. So anyways, overall heel to toe transition when you're doing heel dominant strides on the court, super duper smooth. It feels very nice, right? Now moving on to the cushioning setup. I mean, it's a budget shoe. It's a $90 budget shoe from Nike. So Nike, with their budget shoes, with their cheaper shoes, that's what they take away from us, which makes sense for business, I guess, right? Give us crappier cushion. But yeah, it's just foam. There's nothing. There's no zoom or anything. And it's not bad, The foam is actually kind of soft, you know what I mean? Especially here in the heel, there's a nice little slab of cushion. So we have a little bit of compression here in the heel. And like I said, it's not anything nice, And then here in the forefoot, it's pretty dead. The insole is just like a regular insole, nothing special. And then the strobe board is very stiff, right? So basically for $10 more, which is the AG4, it's 100 bucks. You have a soft foam, right? The foam is freaking amazing. And then the soft mesh strobe board makes the step and comfort amazing, right? So Nike, please start using soft mesh strobe boards. You know what I mean? Even with this foam, right? Even with this foam, I feel like it would be pretty nice. Step and comfort doesn't need to be super duper soft, but if there's a little bit of something there, you know what I mean? I think it'll definitely greatly improve the cushion. But anyways, if you're looking for something responsive, low to the ground, then you're gonna get it here, right? But it's not terrible, you know what I mean? But impact protection, I would say, is it's alright. It's not amazing, especially in the forefoot. If you're doing hard impacts on the forefoot, it'll definitely hurt a little bit more, right? But like I said, responsive guard cushioning setup, but if you want anything else from your cushion, like comfort, impact protection, bounce, step and comfort, then you're not gonna get it here. And obviously for a $90 shoe from Nike, you're not gonna get it, So there is the cushioning setup there. Moving on to the material. So we have kind of like a textile, right? And at first it felt a little like flimsy. It definitely felt like paper-like almost when I first got it. But now that it's broken, it's so soft. Look at that, super duper soft. You know, the only thing I'm worried about is durability. This upper does not feel durable at all because it's so thin, and there is a little bit of fuse over it, but still I feel like this upper will kind of rip very quickly. So just be careful on durability for the upper, but you know, it feels really nice on foot. Like I like a very thin and minimal feeling upper, but also it feels pretty damn supportive. It doesn't really stretch at all. And also because of the overlaying like kind of fuse, right? And we have this kind of synthetic material, which is the swoosh going on the lateral side, kind of coming here into the toe box, and it stays extremely thin here in the midfoot, right? And also we have these kind of like midfoot straps, which I guess does add to the durability and support, but not too much, you know what I mean? It kind of goes down into the upper as well. And then for the tongue, we have like an average, like a little bit less than average amount of padding, I would say. It's also half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then here in the ankle area, I would say it's like an average amount of padding as well. So I like the upper and how it felt on foot, right? It's a super duper minimal feel, like really minimal feeling upper. So I like that. But like I said, just be careful on the durability. It doesn't feel like it'll be durable, and also it's a super cheap feeling material as well. I mean, for 90 bucks, it makes sense, but it still feels really cheap. And also the upper gets really dirty. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but it's super black here with all this dirt and stuff on this white upper. And it's kind of hard to clean off, right? Is it coming on camera? I don't know. But yeah, so just be careful on that as well. Moving on to the fit. So I went up half a size like I've been doing for all my hoop shoes from Nike, and it fits me extremely well. This, I've been playing in a lot of shoes, right? There's a lot of shoes coming out, and this shoe has to be the tightest fit that I have, like that I've been playing, right? Super duper snug, very narrow. So yeah, if you go true to size, really be careful. Like if you want a super snug fit, like really snug, and you don't want any blood flow to your foot, then probably go true to size. But for most people, even if you still want a snug fit, I would probably suggest going up half a size, right? So yeah, here in the toe box, it's so snug, and it does kind of get a little bit looser once you break it in, but it doesn't get that much looser, you know what I mean? Also, width-wise, narrow. So yeah, if you have a wide foot, however, probably go up a full size or maybe even a full size and a half because it's so snug here in the toe box. But for me, it was good going up half a size. So overall fit for me was very good. And moving on to the support and lockdown, also really wasn't that big of an issue for me, right? I was a little bit worried because the material is so thin, right? But overall, it did feel adequate for me. So lateral containment, I felt like I was pretty supported, right? Here in the toe box, there's not a lot of lateral counters going on, which is weird. So, but also I didn't really feel my foot coming out of the footbed that much, you know what I mean? But keep in mind, I am a lighter dude, right? I'm only like 160 pounds, so I didn't really feel it as much. I feel like if you're heavier and you do a lot of lateral movements, you're gonna feel it a little bit more, so just be careful on that. But if you're like average weight, I feel like you should be fine for lateral containment, especially here in the forefoot. And then here in the heel, we have the foam coming up, and there's an internal TPU heel counter, it feels like, as well. So lateral containment was adequate for me, right? And also lateral stability was good. We have a very wide base. You can see how much the outsole kind of like protrudes out here on the lateral side here in the forefoot. So lateral stability was very good for me as well. And obviously this is a low top, so I didn't really, there's no ankle support, but lateral stability was good, so I didn't really have to worry about that. And you know, my foot felt locked into the shoe. There was no heel slippage or anything like that. So overall support and lockdown was really good for me. But like I said, just be careful if you're a bigger dude and you need way more support, right? All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. This shoe is probably gonna be very light. You know, it's a budget shoe, right? Yeah, 11 ounces. Let's check the other shoe. 11.1 ounces, right? So the average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So the Giannis Immortality 3 is super duper light, very minimal feeling, and also very fast feeling as well. Like when you're playing in this shoe, you feel super duper quick. It's a very minimal feeling, very responsive shoe because you're so low to the ground with the cushion. The traction is really good. The material is super minimal and thin. Also support was adequate for me. So yeah, I felt very quick when I was playing, right? The only thing maybe I would improve upon is the cushion, make it a little bit more comfortable, you know, like especially for stepping comfort. But if you're a guard and you're looking for something responsive, you don't really care about anything else, this is an amazing option, right? Ventilation also is really good. We have so much airflow through this material, and also on the lateral side and also on the medial side of the midfoot, we have a lot of open mesh. So a super thin material and very open mesh, a lot of airflow. So ventilation is really good. And now moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. This colorway is just kind of basic and kind of but the overall design looks great, and there's some really dope colorways like that green one that kind of sold out in my size. So I wanted to get the green one, but I had to get this one, you know what I mean? But the overall design looks great to me. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yes, the Giannis Immortality 3 is a really good budget shoe. However, it is lacking in a lot of things, in my personal opinion, because I mean, Nike, for the budget shoes, they cut back a lot, right? But I've been playing a lot of cheaper shoes from Chinese brands, which they keep the price very low, but then they give us very good tech. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like the AG4 and some shoes from like Way of Wade, like the 8083. But I guess $90 is really cheap. Like under 100 is super duper cheap. But like I said, I feel like this is more for guards. You know, if you're a guard and you want a very minimal shoe that feels very quick, very low to the ground with okay, like pretty cushion, you know, that has amazing traction, this is a really good option. And I actually was surprised. I enjoyed playing in this shoe, right? So this will definitely be in my rotation, like I guess regularly, not super heavily and not like loosely, just like regularly, you know what I mean? Like if I want a responsive shoe and I don't really care about like my feet hurting, right, with the cushion, then I'll pick this shoe, right? But if I want a little bit more cushion or something like that, then I'll probably go with like the AG4 or like the All City 11 or something like that, you know what I mean? But anyways, this is still a great performer and I enjoyed playing it. So that about concludes my performance review of the Nike Giannis Immortality 3. Again, if you guys don't want to cop, I'll try to leave them free link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.